You know, I couldn't stop thinking about this thing. So I took it out. If you watched the last video, I was suspecting maybe it was a Q5 or some type of dual conversion. All right. Well, once I got it out, of course, now I have two of the screws. One was floating around in the radio, and one was still hooked to this thing. So he used, these are the screws that hold the dynamotor in. So he recycled these two screws. He didn't put four in, he only put two in. Now, if you watch the video, I was kidding about disappearing objects phenomenon, that a screwdriver had jumped to its death. That's not what happened. There was a rattle in the radio, and the rattle was a crystal. Now, if you saw my comments on my last video, I mentioned there's a crystal socket. Well, here's the crystal, and it's 1,090 kilohertz. So I do the math. It'll let me know if these are 455 IFs. But you got like a 6 BA6, a 6 BE6. I think this is the 6 BE6 over here. This is using an RF amp. This is using an oscillator, which you got the crystal nearby, so it makes sense. So this took the input of this circuit is right here, this wire. This wire came from the third IF. Now, what really killed me was the guy removed the fourth IF can from the radio. Okay, so now I have a radio that's missing the fourth IF can. And what he did, he took the output of the third IF can. You know, all he had to do was unplug the damn tube. Well, anyway, you know, in his mind, oh, it might oscillate, it might do swell. Well, anyway, he took the can out, and it super bodges the radio, because you got to try to find an IF can for one of the radios in order to replace it. But anyway, the signal went from the third IF. It went through the series of mix in the oscillator, RF amp, from the whatever IF he used. Okay, and then the output went over to the volume control. So this is basically made it a dual conversion. So what the radio does is, you know, you got the RF amp coming in, it mixes with the local oscillator, and it creates an IF strip. Now you take another oscillator and another set of IF cans, all right, and you put that signal in and you mix it with this crystal. And this crystal will take the incoming signal, mix it in this mixer, and produce a frequency that goes through these IFs. And it's probably 455. All right, these are unmarked, these are junk. All right, and this isn't a crystal, this is some type of crappy capacitors. But I haven't found this actual circuit yet. I've found these tubes. This one actually is a rectifier tube, but not for voltage, for RF signal rectifier. So 101, that's what it's marked. And when you look at it, you can tell it's what do they call it, a diode? A dual diode? Dual diode. I can recognize the tubes because I worked in RCA, and we had to break them open once in a while to find out where the short was and stuff. Anyway, it's a dual diode. So this is an IF amplifier and detector, which then goes out to the what the hell? We go out to the audio volume control. But what really messed me up so far is unless he's using the BFO from the first stage to give him his sideband. I don't know, but this is to make the radio dual conversion. You know, this is similar to what I'm doing on my other project, and this really stinks. This thing stinks of freaking, you know, you can see it on here, that powder, that's mildew, you know, and this thing reeks, you know, but, you know, $55 and then shipping, you know, and if he hadn't taken that IF can out, I could get all this working. But now I'm missing an IF can, you know, just try to find something like that. You know, so he broke the front glass, or the front bezel unit. I have an extra one of those from the mouse radio. But, you know, these look like the junkiest of junk. But I'm trying to find this circuit. And I put in dual conversion BC348. Somewhere this circuit exists. Oh, and this is, he did reuse the pan for the dynamotor. Okay, I'll show you that. There's your famous terminals. Okay, if you go look at my power supply, and they're marked. So this guy, he's pretty inventive. He did a nice job, but I got a feeling this is from an article. Before I say the guy was really good, I'll go looking for the article. He might have copied, because some of the layout underneath there is just too lucky. In other words, you know what I mean? Somebody really worked hard to lay this out. And then I don't think this is the guy. And then again, this could be one of a kind. You know, this thing could be pretty rare. It might be worth some money to somebody. I think that's it, but I just wanted to do this video. So if you look at that, the mystery circuit, and then I just told you what the tubes are, and give you a better idea. So if you want to go looking, which I'm going to do, I really would like to find this circuit. But he made a single conversion radio, dual conversion. All right, and if you look at the Q5ers, this crystal changes for each band that you use, and this isn't that way. But this is the noise that when it hit the thunk on the floor, and I thought it was a screwdriver jumping to a step. It was this crystal. So then I was sitting in the chair, and I'm looking for the screwdriver under the bench, and then I saw this thing on the floor. And what's that? I pull it out. It's a crystal. I have some of these crystals, so I know what they are. And then I was like, son of a gun, because I had seen this, the socket, knowing there was a crystal missing. See, this helps me get a better idea what this circuit is. Also helps me find who originally laid out, because this is really laid out nice. It fit on I mean, this is too good for it to be a radio amateur. It's going to be someone that's the next level up, maybe some type of engineer, you know, because he got all these parts to fit. And then underneath this, it could be, I won't say this is a kit, but it's close to it. I think that's it. All right, that's it. Boy, that thing stinks.